Nepal is defined by its extremes. Within a few hundred miles, the terrain shifts from low-lying plains to the tallest peaks on Earth, home to dozens of distinct ethnic groups, languages, and religious traditions. For decades, a centralized monarchy governed this diverse population through a unitary system. That concentration of power marginalized millions, triggering a 10-year armed conflict and mass popular movements demanding structural reform. The response to those movements arrived in 2015. Instead of a decree handed down by a king, a publicly elected constituent assembly drafted and passed a new national charter. The drafters designed the document to legally engineer a socialism-oriented society. It establishes a constitutional mandate to dismantle institutional discrimination based on class, caste, and region. To understand how this document actually attempts to manage such a complex society, we have to look at its three primary mechanics: expansive human rights, the restructuring of state power, and mathematically engineered inclusion. The third part of the Constitution establishes a framework for fundamental rights that extends directly into the specific needs of everyday life. It establishes broad socioeconomic protections. The text legally guarantees every person the right to live with dignity and the right to employment, where the state regulates unemployment benefits and labor conditions. The document gets highly specific about accessibility. It requires the state to provide free education through Braille script for visually impaired citizens and sign language for those with hearing or speaking impairments. It also creates a unified yet localized citizenship framework. Every Nepali holds a single federal citizenship, but their legal documentation explicitly registers their specific state identity. By codifying these provisions, the Constitution legally obligates the government to dismantle systemic inequality. It shifts the role of the state from a passive administrator to an active provider. To prevent the return of a centralized monarchy, the drafters implemented a system of cooperative federalism. The state is fractured into three vertical tiers: the federation, the states, and local levels. Schedules 5 through 9 distribute authority across these tiers. While some powers are exclusive, concurrent lists force different governments to cooperate on legislation and revenue. At the federal level, power is separated horizontally. A ceremonial president acts as the head of state, while an executive prime minister runs the government, all overseen by a bicameral legislature, consisting of a House of Representatives and a National Assembly. This intersecting web of local and federal responsibilities creates multiple legal checkpoints, specifically designed to resist the consolidation of power in any single branch or tier. Beyond geographic federalism, the document attempts to balance the state through mandatory demographic representation. The House uses a mixed electoral system. 165 members are elected through standard first-past-the-post voting, while 110 members are chosen through a proportional system. This ensures seats for women, Dalits, indigenous peoples, the Madhesi community, and other marginalized groups based on population data. The text establishes dedicated, independent bodies like the National Women Commission and the National Dalit Commission. These organizations hold the constitutional authority to monitor the government, formulate policies, and recommend legal action against discrimination.
An Indigenous Nationalities Commission is similarly tasked with studying and protecting Native cultural and linguistic heritage, ensuring these communities are included in the mainstream of national development. Inclusion in this system isn't reliant on the goodwill of politicians. It is mathematically and legally hard-coded into the architecture of the state itself. Nepal faced the challenge of uniting a population separated by harsh geography, class divides, and deep ethnic differences into a single nation. The 2015 Constitution approaches this challenge by legally recognizing and protecting that diversity, rather than trying to erase it in favor of a uniform culture. By institutionalizing power sharing, legally defining broad human rights, and mandating proportional representation, this document provides the legal framework to navigate out of a fractured past and build an equitable republic.